My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef. Welcome to my kitchen. I am so excited to share Pampered Chef's new Deluxe cooking blender, a product that's going to be available in our fall catalog. So it's not available yet, but it's coming soon. I want to just show you how I make smoothies, and I also want to do a comparison to the blender that I have had in my home for about 7 years. So this is a Vitamix, and I know a lot of you guys watching have a Vitamix, and you're wondering how can anything be better than a Vitamix? Because I am definitely one of those people who appreciates a good quality blender, and I've used a Vitamix and I know it's different from most all of the rest until now. So I'm going to show you Pampered Chef's Deluxe cooking blender today, and let me first start out by saying it's a true cooking blender. While a lot of people think they can cook in this blender, you can, but it's only cooking with friction. There's no temperature controls on here. There's no programs. It's just simply a twist to set. With this cooking blender, we actually can control the temperature of the food, meaning we can cook the food from its raw state. So a couple of days ago, I made a sweet potato soup, and I put all of the raw vegetables in here and pressed the soup setting, pressed start, and I walked away. And I was able to just leave it, and it beeped when it was done. That's very different from using a Vitamix or another high-powered, high-end blender. So first, let's just go ahead and get started making the smoothie. So first thing I want to show you guys compared to this blender is that this is a glass container. And if you're familiar with grinding in a blender, you may know that a lot of blenders require a second blender container. So you'll see I have two containers. Let me hold it this way so you guys can see. Two blending containers. I have a dry container and I have a wet container. But with Pampered Chef's Deluxe cooking blender, I can do it all in one container. So this is glass, not plastic. Now I'm doing this backwards since I have this facing you guys. So I'm gonna bring it a little closer, but you'll notice there's a little helper handle on this side. So you just kind of peel this up off the top. The lid slides on and off, and it actually has sensors on the lid that keep you from being able to use the blender without the lid on. And so you won't have to worry about there ever being a possibility of things spraying all over your kitchen. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna add our liquid, and I am using coconut milk. Now, I have this in one of our make and take mason jars because I actually made this coconut milk in this blender. So we have an alternative milk setting on the blender, so you actually can make your own coconut milk, almond milk, cashew milk, macadamia nut milk, rice milk. You can make all of it with our blender. So I'm just gonna shake this up, and you can just use the measurement markings right here on the jar, or you can pre-measure. I will tell you that I kind of eyeball things, so if you're a measuring kind of cook, I might stress you out just a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of liquid in there, and we're gonna add the fruits and vegetables that we want for this. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and add in a big giant handful of fresh spinach. This is a great way to help your family get the greens that they need in their life without having to make them eat them. So we got a big handful or two of spinach. We're gonna add 2 bananas. You can add any kind of fruit that you want to this, and if you prefer kale over spinach, you could add that in. You can add vegetables if you want. Let's get this stubborn banana open here. I'd love to hear from each of you guys watching. If you're watching live, let me know that. If you're watching the replay, let me know that as well. I'd love to know where you're watching from. So right now we've got coconut milk that was made in this blender before this video started. We've got spinach and bananas. I'm gonna add a couple of peaches, and these are just fresh peaches. You could peel them if you wanted. I prefer to leave the skin on. So I'm just gonna discard the seed. So I just kind of square it off. So you see how I'm just cutting on the sides. This is our 5-inch Santoku knife. It's from our forged cutlery line. I'm gonna do 3 peaches. Peaches are probably my favorite fruit, and I love the flavor that it adds to these smoothies. So we're gonna add bananas, peaches, spinach, and then I'm also gonna add some yogurt. Now, this yogurt is yogurt that I made in Pampered Chef's quick cooker. So you might see it back over here behind me. Pampered Chef has a pressure cooker. It's called the quick cooker, and you can actually use the proof setting on the quick cooker to make your yogurt. Now I'm making more than one smoothie here, by the way. I'm gonna show you what I like to do when I make mine because I like to be able to make more than one at a time, keep them in the fridge, and then they're ready to grab whenever I need them. So we've got the coconut milk, spinach, bananas, peaches. Now we've got the yogurt. So this is my protein. If you wanted to put protein powder in here, you could certainly do that. We're gonna add some ice because if I want to drink it right now, I want it to be really cold. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this lid on. Oops, hang on one second. I told you I'm doing this backwards. Let me stop trying to do it backwards here. And hang on. It says pampered, not perfect, right? All right. So there's a power button right here on the side. I'm going to turn it on. You're going to set this blender in kind of at an angle here, and then it slides back around. So, whoops, I unplugged it. There we go. All right. It says pampered, not perfect, right? Okay. So my breaker's tripping. All right, let's try this. This is not gonna go well if it doesn't work right. All right, we're gonna put it on smoothie. So this little dial works just like Pampered Chef's quick cooker, but this says smoothie. You just press start. I'm gonna let it get loud for a minute. Tells you when it's done. So I didn't have to pulse, I didn't have to babysit this at all. I just turn it to smoothie and press start, and it knows exactly how long to blend those ingredients to give you the smoothest smoothie ever. So I want to point out something right here. You'll notice that on the handle there is plastic up against this glass container. The reason we have this here is so when you're making soups or heated purees like baby food, the glass is going to get hot, just like if you were to put something in the microwave in a glass container. So this piece is meant to protect your hand when you're taking this off. And so you just kind of tilt it like this. And I'm going to actually store these in our infusion water bottle. So I want to show you guys these. You'll notice that this has a little disc here, and this is really for when you're infusing water. You could put the fruit on the top or the bottom depending on if you use the straw or if you're sipping it from the spout. It just keeps the fruit separate from where you're drinking from so that it doesn't clog the straw. I like this disc so that when I am maybe going to drink the smoothie that I made today tomorrow, I can just shake the bottle and it goes through these holes on this disc and it just remixes everything really nicely. So I'm going to pour this out, and then you guys have to stick around because this has a heated wash cycle that I want to show you guys. So what we're going to do is we're just going to see how many of these we're going to get from this smoothie batch that we've got. So this is about 7 cups of smoothie. Okay, so we're just going to pour these in, and I'll have one for today, one for tomorrow, and one for the next day. All right, let's see. And I kind of estimate when I'm pouring so that I can get 3 out of here. So some of them may end up with a little more or a little less. All right. So we've got our green smoothies ready. So I've got 3 smoothies. All right, so I'll put those in the fridge. I want to show you how this heated wash works. So again, I'm going to work back on the opposite direction here. There we go. So you put this on. We're going to add 3 cups of water. So normally I don't use a measuring cup. I just put this under the faucet. But for the sake of not leaving the camera, I just pre-measured that out. There are measurement markings on the side of the glass pitcher. So you could also just hold it under and measure it. We're going to just do a couple of drops of dish soap. So if you're thinking, well, my blender cleans itself, I can put water and soap in my blender and turn it on and pulse and let it rinse off the sides. This is a little bit different. I'm gonna turn this because I had a hard time putting the lid on going in the wrong direction. There we go. The difference with this is it actually heats up the water. So it's just like using hot water from the sink. So it starts out, you press start, you choose heated wash, and you'll see that 140. This needs to heat the water to 140 degrees. So you're gonna see it start and stop. It's 72 degrees now. It's gonna heat up the water. It'll spin a little bit. It'll heat up the water, spin a little bit, and then once it reaches 140 degrees, it is going to go through its wash cycle. So I'm gonna let this just sit for just a minute. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will answer those after the video. I do want to tell you that this blender comes with a cooking guide. So if you are familiar, I'll zoom in so you can see this. If you're familiar with Pampered Chef's Quick Cooker, it also comes with a cooking guide. You also get me whenever you purchase products from Pampered Chef through me. I will be happy to help you and walk you through this process anytime you need my help. But in this cooking guide, you're first going to just see some examples. It does come with a tamper. It comes with a straining bag. And so those are things that you might use for making nut butters. You would need the tamper to push the nuts around inside of the pitcher. This straining bag is great if you wanted to puree all whole fruits and then squeeze out the juice and have a true fresh fruit juice without any pulp. I personally leave the pulp in, and I'll add an alternative milk like coconut milk or almond milk. You could use regular milk too and just make a smoothie with it, and that way you're actually eating the fiber, or the you're getting more fiber because you're eating the pulp as well. When you're just traditionally juicing and you're getting rid of all of that pulp, you're also getting rid of a lot of nutrients. You're also going to notice that there are some smoothie recipes. This is the sweet potato soup recipe that I made the other day. I shared it with a couple of people, so I'm hoping that they'll post some reviews soon on my page. The smoothie setting, it gives you some specifics on how you can make smoothies. Just remember, I just kind of did this how I made smoothies in my blender that I used before I got my Pampered Chef blender. How many of you like the acai bowls? Check these out. Are those not just gorgeous? So you can make so many different things. The alternative milk setting, so almond milk, cashew milk, coconut milk, a combination of nut milk, macadamia milk, oat milk, and rice milk. This is horchata. This is a delicious cinnamon milk drink made with rice milk. You also have a grind setting so that you can make all of your nut butters. I don't know if you guys can see here, but this says 111 degrees. So we're trying to work our way up to 140. So you can make almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, a sunflower seed butter, or a super seed butter. So those of you with peanut allergies, this is going to be a great tool for you, save you a lot of money in buying those other nut butters at the grocery store. This shows you how you can ground whole grains in your blender. So unlike the blender I showed you earlier that I've been using for years, you don't need a separate container to grind your whole grains. Then you've got some hummus recipes and some dip recipes. You have a soup setting. It gives you all these great soups that you can make. So there's a beef soup, there's cauliflower soup, mushroom bisque soup, sweet potato, and a tomato basil soup. And this right here is the butternut squash soup with pumpkin seed granola. You guys, that is just amazing. We're up to 127 degrees. We are going to 140. And remember, I don't have to do anything. I just pressed the heated wash and press start, and it's going to do its thing. You may be able to hear it boiling or starting to boil that water. We have broccoli cheddar soup with cheddar biscuits. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to make those cheddar biscuits. This hidden veggie marinara pasta, I made this last week. It's really good. And it blows me away how easy it is to get all these vegetables in a recipe and your family not even know about it. We have a sauce setting. There's a patent pending on this setting, so you're not going to find this on any other blender on the market. I made nacho cheese sauce 2 nights ago in here. It was amazing. So you guys definitely want to taste that. The jam setting, I'm going to stop talking while we let this do its thing. So it's 140 degrees and it has a 2-minute wash setting. So I'm just going to let it do its thing really quickly, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about what we have here. And you'll see it stops and starts. So it's down to 136 degrees. starts and stops, but you can see how much cleaner the blender already is. We have about 45 seconds left on the clean cycle. All right, 15 seconds to go. 10 seconds and then we'll be done, and I'll tell you the last couple settings. Okay, so again, it beeps when it's done. I don't have to pay any attention to what's happening. I could have walked away. I could have gone to my desk, drank a smoothie, answered some emails. I could have helped the kids with homework, whatever it is that I might have needed to be doing while this was doing its cleaning. And then all you do, take it off, and you'll notice that there's probably some residue on the inside, but very, very little. So let me zoom in and show you this, because it's pretty impressive how much it gets out of the lid too. You will notice that there's a little bit here around the rim. So when you're rinsing this out, you might just need to take a sponge and wipe that little edge, because the water obviously isn't going to get right here, because if it does, then it would leak. And so this is such a smart blender. You would just pour this liquid out, because obviously it has spinach in there, but it is a heated wash. So this blender is hot. It's not hot enough to where it's gonna burn me, but you can tell that it heated the water. So we went from making a cold smoothie to being able to use it on a heated wash setting. So let me tell you some of the other things. So a couple more things. I mentioned the sauce setting is a patent pending setting that Pampered Chef has on this. We also have a patent on the So this will show you how you can make strawberry jam, raspberry jam, blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, a low sugar strawberry, Concord grape jelly, the orange marmalade, and applesauce. So I've already tried the strawberry jam. It's delicious. And I've also made the Concord grape jelly, also very, very good. There is a chocolate cherry skillet cake sauce that you can make in here. You can use this for blending cake mixes. So you can put your eggs, oil, water, and your cake mix right in the blender and just either do a a pulse, where you just press the pulse, or you can put it on one of these other settings and just control it. And there's a custom option, and you can choose like how high you want it to be. So you can choose, I think, between like 1 through 7 or 8. So this is the custom blend settings, gives you ideas on how to, or recipes rather, to make milkshakes, nice cream, which are it's basically ice cream with frozen fruit. You can also make frozen drinks, so like margaritas, pina coladas, daiquiris. You can make non-alcoholic drinks as well. So you're going to get this cooking guide along with your cooking blender, and you get me anytime you purchase Pampered Chef products from me. So please let me help you anytime. But I want to tell you a little bit more about why I love this blender. So this blender will be selling for $349. You can host a party to get it at 50 or 60% off. So if you're interested in those options, just message me. We could do a virtual party, or we could do a party in your home if you're local to me. This blender right here, this is the blender that I had before Pampered Chef sent me this Deluxe cooking blender. I paid $550 for this blender. So the blender from Pampered Chef is going to be $349, and I paid $550 for this Vitamix. And I know many of you watching this have a Vitamix that you spent that much or more on. I also had to pay extra, I don't remember how much, but it wasn't cheap, to buy this second container. And I will tell you why I made the investment in the Vitamix. I have preemies, and a lot of you guys watching know me and know their story. But when they were just a couple months old, our pediatrician suggested that I start giving one of our twins rice cereal, and I didn't really want to do rice cereal because at that time there was all these articles out there about the rice not being good in these containers, and then I switched, I decided to do the oat cereal. And then I thought, I want to just make this myself. I found out through a friend that I could grind up organic oatmeal in a Vitamix blender with the dry container, and I could just put that in with their formula instead of buying the cans of oatmeal cereal that were made for babies but also had a lot of preservatives in them. And so I justified the purchase of spending over $550. I think it was well over $600 when I added this container in. Because it was for my premature baby who was just over 6 pounds or 7 pounds at the time. And so it was kind of a really big deal. I have since used it for so many other things. You'll notice, you can see the plastic is kind of worn out. It's faded. I use this for smoothies. I've made peanut butter for years in the Vitamix, but I can also do that in the Deluxe cooking blender. So anything and everything that I could do in this, I can do in this one, and I can do a whole lot more. So I wanted to share just a little bit about our Deluxe cooking blender because I've been teasing you guys for a few days, showing you all the things that I've been making here in my test kitchens, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. I'm going to post a survey link in the comments. I would love for you to take my blender survey. It just helps me understand how you're using a blender right now, what you like about the blender you have, and what you don't like, and what foods you might be interested in making in a blender that you had no idea you could make. I mean, like nacho cheese sauce, jams and jellies. I mean, that's just crazy. So I can't wait to hear from you guys. Please share my video. That's one of the best things that you can do for me. If you enjoy my videos, if you enjoy seeing the things that I share, if you're enjoying my recipe group, please share my posts and my videos, because sharing is caring, right? So I will share this actually in the recipe group in just a few minutes, but if you are not already a member of the recipe group, you can find it by going to theflipflopchef.com. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this blender. Have a great day.